Looking for some new podcasts to listen to? Well, Rat Salad Review Network has plenty of shows to choose from. Like Rat Salad Review, where they discuss the latest rock and metal news, as well as interviews and albums. Album vs. Album, the King Diamond Podcast, with Wayne Noon, Greg Noggle, and sometimes this guy.
Smack 'em a gob!
Ralph Vieira is also on our network with the Vieira Vault. There's also Old Man Metal's Musings, where he discusses heavy metal and beer. Music is Life with Lou Mavs. The Right Opinion for those who love politics. A South Park podcast called Suck My Balls. The Infinite Fringe, a watch-along wrestling show called Beyond Bushido. Ex-Stradivarius guitarist, the Timo Tolkki podcast. And the Great Harry Barnett with I Don't Even Like Podcasts. So check out ratsaladreview.com or search Rat Salad Review on YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and more.
Hollywood has taken Gwar as far as they can take it. There's a band out of Antarctica. They make Alice Cooper look like Sesame Street. They call themselves Gwar.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sleazy P. Martini, entrepreneur extraordinaire and discoverer of the most amazing, cataclysmic rock and roll event of the century. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Gwar.
My name is Odrisirangus.
I am this executioner. I am Beefcake the Mighty, and I come in peace.
I am Flatus Maximus. I play guitar.
And I am Simenstra Hyman, and I have come to this planet to love you all to death.
My name is Balsac, the Jaws of Death. That's Balsac, with umlauts over the A's. I play guitar and also act as the mouthpiece for the band.
You dare to address me without groveling on your hands and knees and ritually disemboweling yourself first?
Down, human!
Kill yourself! No!
Don't kill him yet. We need the publicity.
Oh, that's right.
If you are viewing this, you are probably already dead by now.
Eons ago, we were the members of a elite group of warriors from the other side of the galaxy. They were called the Scum Dogs of the universe.
This mustache it's for you, Lady Liberty.
We owe your network our knowledge of the language, everything, between you and pro wrestling.
Total poopy hairband, the gosh darn hairspray. They put a hole in my roof. The ozone, that is, in Antarctica. They are irresponsible. They must be destroyed. This is real.
We mean it, man!
When I wake up in the morning, I sit down. I eat my total cornflakes. I watch Jane Pauley, and I look like this, okay? 'Cause we are Gwar, and we'll go far. We got guitars. We'll eat your car. Gwar, 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 Gwar. Oh!
Welcome to Rat Salad Review. Hello, Lou.
Greetings, human scum.
Nice. Hello, Nate. Nate actually has a impersonation of Otis too, right?
What?
Was that your Stone Cold Otis Youngus impersonation?
Yeah, what the hell was that, Nate? I just built that up and you botched it.
Yeah, it's funny. You completely fall flat on your face.
Well, on one of the previous shows, you were singing "Sick of You" with the vocalist from Timeless Haunt, and you did Otis very good on that episode. You did. You pretty were much spot on with that one. Yeah. But anyway, all the Gwar talk. We are going to talk about Gwar, and we're gonna. Whoops, shit.
Do you remember that?
Take two.
I'm not taking two. In pure Gwar fashion, that meant to happen. We're going to be talking about every single Gwar album, song by song.
Let's do it.
And that's a lot of albums.
Yes, no. We will not do it song by song. We will do it album by album, I guess, a little bit here and there and everything in between, I guess. But we'll do, I guess, somewhat of a good job on this. I don't know. We're all fans of Gwar here.
Yeah, no live albums or comps or anything like that, because I think we're just going to do strictly studio albums, right?
We have
yes, of course. They only have one live album, no compilation albums, as far as I know.
No, they had You're Worthless and Weak, but that was only available on slavepit.com, I think, or at their live shows.
They had the one from the late 90s, I know, because it was...
Yeah, that was the We Kill Everything tour.
Yeah.
Had no idea, but, oh yeah, and also, I also have this book. I don't know if anybody ever got the book.
No, and
I cannot afford that book for the life of me.
It's like $100 on Amazon, I think.
Exactly.
Oh, really? Well, it's worth it. Look how thick this book is. This is like insane. I was trying to read some of it for some information on the show, and I could not make it through. I had to just stop.
No,
it's just so long.
Recently.
Huh? Cross over the edge. What is that? Where hardcore
it's
punk?
Just an encyclopedia of crossover bands and hardcore, anything that sounds like just cross-punk, crossover, all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a terrible time reading. As soon as I open the page and start reading things, my eyes just automatically close. And I just want to go to sleep. So it's hard for me to read. But I was trying to get through some of that book. There's some interesting things, and I'll try to remember them. But it is a cool book. Let There Be Gwar if anybody wants to go buy that book. But yeah, $100, huh? It is quite a bit of money.
Yes,
it's probably more when I bought it.
Well, my birthday's coming up in 3 months, everybody. So
there you go. I'm gonna.
I did want was that coffee table book, Defenders of the Faith, where it's just a bunch of pictures of people's battle vests.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's cool.
That I can look at for just hours, dude.
Yeah.
I love looking at vests.
My father-in-law bought me this heavy metal book, but it was all these metal people with cats. So it was just pictures of metal guys with cats and stuff. That was kind of fun.
Is Chris Holmes in every picture?
I don't know. I don't think he was part of that.
Oh.
But let's get to Gwar. That's right. How did you guys get into Gwar? Like, Lou, what was your first,
3 words: Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My first exposure to Gwar actually was '92 when we first got MTV, and if I can recall this correctly, it was in March of '92. Weekend Rock was showing. That was their new show. They were showing at the end of segment 1, like all the new releases, and they had a 30-second clip of Cracking the Egg from Phallus in Wonderland. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And a couple of months later, I discovered the network, The Box video. Okay. Yes, it was just The Box. And Road Behind was on like every hour. Because some Gwar fan, wherever you are, thank you, kept on ordering it. But I wasn't really into it at the time. And then, I first saw Saddam Go on Beavis and Butthead. I got hooked, and it wasn't until '99 when We Kill Everything came out where I actually was able to say I was definitely a Gwar fan because at the time, Metal Blade gave us a copy of the record with the song "Fucking an Animal" on it, bleeped out with all animal noises. And we were playing the hell out of that song. Oh, and Dave Brocky himself, rest in peace, Odor Strungus' slave boy. He's like, yeah, you want to do an interview? Let's do an interview. So he gave me 20 minutes of his time. Very gracious, very funny, very entertaining. And ever since then, I said, you know what? Even though the music might be crazy, and I learned to appreciate it and love it more the older I got, Dave Brocky was just a cool fucking guy. And he was my first ever interview being a metal DJ. And I'm forever grateful to him, and I'm forever grateful to Kevin Chainsaw Rose, formerly of Metal Blade Records, for setting it up. And ever since then, Gwar fan for life.
Wow, awesome. Do you have that video, the interview up anywhere, or?
No, it's so cringeworthy. I can't even bear to listen. And thankfully, it's on cassette, so no one will ever hear it again.
Oh, come on! We gotta put that on the show.
Well, Bob Mango from my podcast, my former college radio co-host, he actually has it on cassette, and he said he was going to bump it at MP3 and put it on a website that we're forming. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see the time of day. But dude, it was my first interview. I was 18. It's so goddamn cringy. So
that's all right. It's still cool. You got to talk to Brocky. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, he was wonderful. He was just such a nice guy, just so giving of his time. And he's like, oh, man, if I didn't have other interviews to do, I'd talk to you forever, man. You're a cool guy, and, just so appreciative. It's funny. Like, a couple of months later, I met the Scorpions. Rudolph Schenker's a dick, and I have no problem saying that. A year later, I met Quiet Riot. Kevin DuBrow, rest in fuck you. And, it's just, you meet musicians, and then you meet washed-up rock stars. Dave Brocky is a musician. There was no rock star pretension bullshit about him. So, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's I kind of realized that reading some of the stuff in his book. He's Gwar, and that's all he kind of focused his whole life on, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, which only kind of makes me wonder what if him and Hunter didn't have a falling out. Hunter Jackson, Techno Destructo, also Edna Grambo, because well, I'm pretty sure you're going to get into the history of Gwar. I'll throw in some tidbits if you need me to. But who wants to answer the question next? How'd you get into Gwar?
Well, I found out about Gwar somewhere through it's the first song I remember hearing from them and seeing was the Let Us Slay video, which is just a total epileptic acid trip. And I looked from there, and I really didn't get into the music until like a couple of years back when I realized these guys are actually great musicians. But I first saw Gwar Warped Tour 2017. And then I saw again that same November. That's where I got their shirt. And twice more since then. They're the band I've seen, and I'm a diehard Gwar.
Wow.
I just love their unique brand. Some kind of fucked up crossover, weird amalgamistic thrash bunch of songs.
Yeah.
Gwar is great. And even though they didn't get too musically accomplished until I'd say maybe War Party, they've always been great.
Yeah.
Except for I'm not a huge fan of late 90s Gwar. It's just
I don't think a lot of people are. I don't think some of them are either that were on the album.
And I get why you would be, man, that late 90s Gwar, because that's right when you got into them and all that.
Yeah.
It's
right, but yeah, I'll tell you though, later as I rediscovered their older albums, and I saw where they started from with Hello and leading into Scumdogs.
Right.
It's wow, what a drastic change from where they went to in the 90s. And, thank goodness for Violence Has Arrived, because I feel like they went back on that track.
Yeah. Violence Has Arrived was definitely a stepping stone, but I don't think they got fully back on the horse until War Party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. My first
song, fucking awesome. I love that song.
Well, my first introduction was Headbangers Ball. I saw a Gwar video. And in that video, I don't know if you guys remember the video, but they got the dinosaur running around. They're chasing them through whatever, their little stage or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
And one of my favorite music videos.
Yeah, it is. It is one of mine too. And it was just so insane. And the song was catchy, and the music was like fucking awesome. It was really heavy, and just everything just like clicked for me. And I just like, I love that band ever since I saw that video. And of course, I had to go and find all the albums at the time, and just I immersed myself in everything Gwar. It was just awesome. I would sit at school and like draw. How like in the booklet they have all like the pictures. I guess that Dave Brocky would draw and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I would sit in school, draw some of the pictures, copy them and stuff like that. So I was a big fan of Gwar. And even one thing I did was I was drawing America Must Be Destroyed. And one of my teachers came over and he saw me writing that, and he's like, "What is that supposed to mean?" I said,
communist.
Yeah. He's like, "I think I'm a terrorist or something." And I'm like, "No, it's a Gwar album." Not too many.
Oh my god! Did you ever see the Wally George interview with Odorous and Sleazy P?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, it's on YouTube. It's broken into 2 segments, and Wally George was this guy from the 80s, early 90s who was doing like the Morton Downey Jr. thing on the West Coast, where he was trying to draw like conservative anger amongst his audience, but you could tell it was a complete total show. It was as gimmick as pro wrestling is. And sorry to break kayfabe, Eric Adams. And just to see that both Odorous and Wally George get into a standoff where they're like, okay, and it was during the America Must Be Destroyed era, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Before he got his Odorous voice too, he had that weird like accent before just the big booming Odorous voice came to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like old school Odorous kind of sounds like a immigrant from East Europe,
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't.
I think they tried that at first, and they're just like, nah, it's not gonna work.
Like you can hear it on Joan. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Oh, the Joan Rivers interview, yeah, but that was a great interview.
How far you're gonna go, Cleveland?
I mean, the crazy thing about Dave Brocky and Michael Bishop, like if you think about it, it was like Borscht Belt vaudeville sense of humor that they mixed in with, sci-fi monster, punk rock based heavy metal, and it was like it was Groucho Marx for the metal community. It was great.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It was also very like grindhouse horror too. And I love that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Except for animal killings and Hannibal Holocaust.
Yeah. Like you ever seen Pieces?
No, I have to see Pieces. I think it's on my my queue for Shudder.
Yeah. Yeah, I fucking love grindhouse splatter flicks. So Gwar is just a natural draw to me. That's why I like Gwar.
Interesting. I'm not into that, but I am into Gwar. And let's move on to Hello, the first album.
Hello. Man, a lot of this is old Death Piggy material, and you can really tell.
Yeah. Have you heard the Death Piggy out? Like, you've listened to that?
Actually, I haven't. I need to hear that.
Really? Well, I went to go see them, actually, not too long before Brocky ended up dying. When I went to the merch booth and I bought a T-shirt, and then I saw Death Piggy there, and I didn't really understand who it was, but I looked it up real quick and saw that it was his, old stuff. Right. And it's cool. It's strange. It's more towards like what
it's more hardcore punk.
Yeah, and it's more like what Dave Brocky experience would kind of sound like, and even like what the We Kill Everything kind of, just like stupid songs, but they were catchy and funny. But Hello. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say though, you mentioned Death Piggy. So Death Piggy was Brocky's first band,
right?
And this is when they moved into the Milk Factory in Richmond, Virginia. That's where he met Hunter Jackson, who at the time was creating Scumdogs of the Universe, which is supposed to be sort of like his, comedy, sci-fi, horror, softcore adult film. And Dave Rocky looked at his costumes and said, "Hey, we should wear that on stage and be our own opening act."
Right.
And we'll call it Gwar. That's where they came up with the name Gwar. Right. Except it was spelled Gwar with a bunch of R's at the end of it. Mm-hmm. And the opening act ended up getting more love than Death Piggy. So that's when Hunter Jackson and Dave Rocky said, "You know what? Let's do this." Yeah. And that was the beginning for Gwar. Now, the one thing I know about Hello was that it's the one album from Gwar where it's like, you could see where they were coming from, but it sounds nothing like any Gwar album that came out after it in terms of sound. Like, it was very lo-fi indie punk that they were going for. They weren't going for metal at the time. It just grew to that as the costumes grew and the show got more gorier, and and it was an interesting evolution because a lot of the songs that they play to this day are off that. I mean, you got Americanized, you got Time for Death. My favorite on the Gwar theme. My favorite on the album was which is Je m'appelle Je Cousteau.
I'm glad you said that.
The best version of that is on Night of the Day of the Dawn of the Penguins, the live video from '97. Listen to that version of it, and you'll hear the best version of that song.
I mean, what it sounds like to me is like the heavier Motorhead album, Sacrifice.
Hello reminds you of Sacrifice?
Yeah, and the fact that it's still metal, but it's coming from like a punk background. Like, maybe like the first Cro-Mags album, too, stuff like that, where it's really ambiguous what it's really writing.
Huh. Yeah, it makes sense, but...
I'm not talking wise. I'm talking stylistically.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it's still very based in even 70s punk and rock and roll, but you can tell what's metal on here. And then I'm like GBH, too, because I'm getting D beats out of there, and... There's a whole hodgepodge of just extreme in here, and I love it.
Yeah, but the thing is, they didn't like metal. They were just, mostly into punk. And
but
so I don't hear metal on this album. What?
Neither did Discharge, and they had a metal tone.
I don't know who Discharge is.
Okay.
Metallica covered them on Garage Inc. What was it? Free Speech for the Dumb?
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought that was Animals.
You thought that was who?
I thought that was the Animals or something.
No, Animals did not do Free Speech for the Dumb. Animals did. They did House of the Rising Sun.
I'm thinking of a different band. I don't know.
Yeah, not just a different band. That's a completely different genre.
Anyway, as I was reading the book, they were like totally against metal, and that's why this album sounds so punk. Is because they would basically. They wanted to be anti-metal band in a way, and because they're a punk band on here, and yeah, like you said, Lou, this sounds absolutely nothing like anything Gwar would ever do after this. And this is the third album I heard of theirs, and when I first bought it, I listened to it once, and I just put it to the side. I'm like, this is garbage. I'm not gonna listen to this ever again. And I actually ended up selling it not too long after that.
Really?
Yeah, because there was just nothing really on here. I mean, I'm in love with a dead dog. I mean, that was. Kind of cool,
great song. Rock and Roll Party Town, I'll always
It opens up with Time for Death. That's a cool song. I like that one.
Yeah.
And even AEIOU is pretty cool. Americanize is cool. I grew...
Right.
Yeah. This album actually grew on me. And when I did sell it, I ended up having to buy it back, obviously, because, I'm a Gwar fan. I have to have every Gwar album, so...
Probably a lot harder
now. That as well.
No, it's still available through Metal Blade, so it's not out of print.
That's right. That's right. Online that's not through the record label. I keep getting an order shit through record labels. It's like because everything's so centralized now. It's not. I go to record stores too much. It fucks up how I buy online.
Yeah. No, I don't have any record stores here. They all suck.
Long Island?
Yeah, there's like 2 here, and they're just
the whole stretch of that.
Pretty much, right, Lou?
What's that?
record stores. There's like maybe 3, 4 or so.
Go quality
Yeah.
over quantity.
Decent
and
ones.
rip.
I mean, by me, there's Mr. Cheapos, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And that's probably like for like the hardcore vinyl collector. Because I remember going there like about 13 years ago when my roommate got his record player. So he was just like buying all the classics, Rainbow Rising, Heaven and Hell. He was, buying like vintage first pressing vinyl. And it's amazing because it was still in great condition. So, but that's really the only store I know of that even sells vinyl, whether new or old. By the way, interesting tidbit about Hello. Of the Gwar members that we would know about in the future, the only 2 at the time that were members of the band were Dave Brockie and Michael Bishop.
Yeah.
Michael Bishop was part of that first lineup that recorded for Shimmy Disc. Yeah, Mike Dirks, who does Balzac. Was that?
I thought Brad was on this.
No, Brad didn't join until right before Scumdogs. Because their first drummer was called Nicholas Erectus, not Jizmac the Bishop.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah, because Nicholas Erectus did not last long. It's sort of like Nirvana's first drummer. Like, he was on Bleach, but didn't last too long until Dave Grohl came by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing you mentioned Dave Grohl because as I was reading through the book,
Gwar fan, yeah.
Well, he's a big Gwar fan, but he also wanted to try out to be the drummer in Gwar.
That would have been fucking cool. He and Brad are pretty comparable in skill, I'd say.
Nah. Oh yeah, fucking Dave Grohl's a beast on the drums. But
he's also from Virginia, so it makes sense that he would join Gwar if he had the chance.
Yeah. But then he got the call to Nirvana, so obviously.
I think he did all right for himself, but he's got a ways to go.
Yeah, he's all right. He'll get there one day.
Being a multi-talented, multi-instrumental songwriter.
Yeah, he's right up there with Eddie Van Halen. A lot of future potential.
Yeah.
Is Michael Dirks not on this either?
Michael Dirks is not on it. No.
Did he join right before Scumdogs then too?
Yes, he did.
That's okay.
Oh, and technically, Dewey Roll is the guitarist on Hello and Scumdogs, so you do have your Flatus Maximus on those albums, but he only lasted the first 2 albums.
Damn, Lou, how do you know?
Gwar lead guitar until Corey joins the band. Like, is it really that big of a deal?
What's that?
Gwar lead guitar until Corey Smoot joins. Is there really anything to rave about?
Well, I did like the guy who did, Pete Lee, who played lead on This Soil of Earth, Ragnarok, and Carnival of Chaos. He was good.
I mean, I don't listen to those albums as often, so...
He had chops. I mean, I watch a lot of the concerts, so he definitely had the live chops. And
maybe I'm wrong here, but it's I never really thought Gwar's music outside of Brad was anything remarkable, at least in technicality wise, until Corey joined.
Yeah, no, I mean Corey definitely owned Flatus, but there's one other guy that I want to mention real briefly, who the Flatus before Corey, and that was Zach Blair, who now plays for Rise Against. So he did okay for himself, I guess.
Yeah. Shit. You remember all these names. I tried to... There's just way too many people that have been in and out of this band.
I have no life.
Tough band to be.
It is. It's I'm looking... This is the timeline of the band. And it's just 2 pages of people. I don't know, if people can't see that.
Wait, you don't need that. You got me.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how you remember all these names, because it's just insane.
Because I can't retain anything else.
2, 3, 4.
I can't even retain water.
Since they're characters, though, I really don't care if they're consistent members that have a distinct style. People like Michael Bishop and Casey Orr are equal, in my opinion, as bass players, but it's they have different styles.
Right.
Casey Orr is from Rigor Mortis, and I fucking love Rigor Mortis. The Michael Bishop's got more of a Motorhead kind of style behind him, where he's got more of a classic ring.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell actually which albums both are on. You know, when Mike Bishop was in the album, there were more like melodic songs in a way, and then when Casey Orr started writing for what the hell's that album? What's that one?
It was Ragnarok.
No, when he came back, the heavy one.
That was a Bloody Pit of Horror.
Nope, the first one that came
back.
Was he on? Was wait a minute? Was he the bass player on Lust in Space?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
This one.
I love
Violence Has Arrived.
Oh, that's right. Casey Orr was on that album. You're right.
Yeah. So he wrote a lot of stuff because a lot of the stuff on Violence Has Arrived was going to be on the Rigor Mortis album, and then it ended up being on that. And yeah, you can tell the huge difference because they really turned into like a really metal thrash type band by then.
And then, hey, now both of them are in the band.
I know, right? Isn't that fucking weird?
If only this line had Dave Brocky, it would literally be the ultimate Gwar lineup.
Right, it would be.
It has literally every classic member, and then like Pusty. Pusty's awesome.
Yeah, I like Pusty a lot.
So what are we?
Going? It's perfect for Gwar.
Another thing too with the Hello album, Techno Destructo song. The guy, what was his name? The guy who actually was Techno Destructo.
So Hunter Jackson was not involved in Gwar for about a couple of years because I think he moved to Michigan. Yeah. So the role of Techno Destructo was actually taken up by Don Drakulich, who we know as Sleazy D. Martini.
Right. Yeah.
So that's him on that first.
He
record.
Also, he sang on this song. But what are we gonna say about this first Gwar album? Should people? I mean, I guess people should hear because there are some good songs on here. But I would say, don't let this be the first Gwar album you hear because you're not gonna
own it for the collection of Gwar classics.
Right.
But it's unless you're a punk fan, I don't see
I'm a big
why
punk
would be.
fan, so I'm like, this is a good album. I give this 7.5.
Yeah. Like I said, it took a while for it to grow on me, so
I give it a 6. Like I said, Je m'appelle Jacques Cousteau. I love that album. Love that song.
Yeah, it's good shit. Then they went above and beyond. It's almost like a brand new band.
It's literally like a fucking exponential curve here.
Yeah, it's like
awesome
I don't think
fucking crossover album.
Yeah. Has any other band like started like with first album is a punk album, the next album is completely metal, completely different direction?
I wouldn't say completely metal. This has a lot of punk still in it.
I don't know. I mean, maybe the production makes it sound like metal to me.
No, the guitar is very metal, but the drums and the groove of it is still very punk. It's got that,
I guess
beat to it, and a lot of chord riffs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean, you got songs like "Horror of Yale," shit like that.
Yeah, but Scumdogs of the Universe,
punk as fuck.
Yeah, Scumdogs of the Universe. This is the album that they're mainly known for. I don't think they really ever got more known with the other albums as much as this one. But, God, I remember seeing the video of Sick of You. I mean, how much more catchier could a song be? I mean, and all they're doing is just repeating, Sick of You so many times. It's very repetitive, but it's just such a catchy song.
It's less annoying than Iron Maiden's later stuff.
Yeah.
I listen to Slaughterama the most off of this.
Oh my God, it's fucking awesome.
I love Slaughterama.
How can you not?
The world's biggest hair, world's tightest pants, got no circulation in your...
I just still can't dance. So, funny story about this album. So, it's fall of 2000. It's my junior year at St. John's. It's the second year that the dorms are open. And somehow they found a maggot infestation in the food at the dorms.
Oh, my God. Oh.
So, my friend Fred Earhart, who is a huge Gwar fan, decided that we were going to do something to get ratings, for people to listen into the college radio show station. So he decided we were going to do Maggot Appreciation Week. And once an hour, every day, we played Maggots by Gwar in the rotation against, like, everything else.
Yeah.
And I remember the next week, people were like, "Are you still going to play that Maggot song?" I'm like, well, Maggot Appreciation Week is over, but we'll still play it if you want.
My mother hates even when I mention the word maggots. And I used to play this song, and just the beginning, like with the flies and stuff going around, and she hates it. She makes her sick.
It reminds me of Parasite by Exodus. Where they have the buzzing.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. I love cheesy shit like that.
Yeah. But Salamanizer, a great opening track.
It's a good opening track. It's not anywhere near my favorite Gwar opening tracks.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
That next album.
No, yes. Yeah, I like the next one, but it's still good. Sexecutioner, I remember hearing that on the college radio station. Actually, before I even heard Scum Dogs of the Universe, I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is like the best song I've ever heard in my life. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Honestly, there's no bad song on this whole album.
In the middle, it kind of like dips off to me a little bit.
Vlad the Impaler's good.
I'm not crazy about that one. Black and Huge, I don't really care for too much.
And horror.
How can you not be a fan of Vlad the Impaler? Who else but Dave Broggie could write Vlad the Impaler and Norman Mailer? And the word sailor.
Exactly. I don't know.
Scatological humor at its best.
I like the song.
And a Cool Place to Park, I don't know. That didn't really do much for me either.
I like Cool Place to Park. I like hearing Michael Bishop on vocals because he's probably a more talented actual vocalist than Dave Brockie ever was.
Shut your mouth.
Come on. You listen to things like Pussy Planet, and just he's hitting those Rob Halford tier high notes.
Right, yeah.
I'm talking in pure vocal ability.
I guess, but
of course Dave Brockie is the true frontman of Gwar.
Yeah. He always got me because he has so many different... he uses his voice so many different ways. Like, it really isn't a singer that can do that. And Brockie he was one of my all-time favorite vocalists, honestly.
Yeah, I love Dave Brockie. No, Dave Brockie is a major inspiration.
Yeah, definitely. But,
never discount Michael Bishop is what I'm saying.
No, not at all.
He's definitely the right person for the job nowadays.
I would agree.
I mean, I love the fact that he sounds like Bon Scott, too, because If You Want Blood is such an apt cover for Gwar.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, one thing I would have to say the unsung heroes of this album, who've been two of the mainstays of Gwar since then, are Mike Dirks and Brad Roberts.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, without a doubt, like, without those two, you know, I mean, Michael Bishop has done a wonderful job having taken over the mantle from Dave Brockie. But seriously, if you got rid of Ballsack and Jizmac, I think that would be a bigger loss to the music.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, Jizmac and Ballsack bring like legitimate just skill to Gwar. And Ballsack doesn't get to use it as much because he's in the
he's a rhythm guitar player.
Like, he's a rhythm guitar player, but I mean, in later albums, he definitely shows off his playing chops in like complicated ass rhythm parts. Like parts like even in the new album, like Fuck This Place is a kind of a difficult lead part or like just hard to play. That
that riff is insane.
Fucking bear trap on your head. Like, he's able to play all this shit wearing that ridiculous fucking outfit on stage.
Yeah.
With whatever blood fucking disease he's got. Michael Dirks is a fucking champ.
Yeah.
He's probably my favorite member of Gwar overall.
And he's the head chef at Gwar Bar.
Oh, cool.
Really?
So, by the way, interesting thing about the tour that went on supporting Scum Dogs. So the tour was sort of like the predecessor to what they would do with America Must Be Destroyed, which is the next album after this. And in that, the tour kind of tied both albums together because they actually played songs off of America Must Be Destroyed on this tour.
Right.
But the most disgusting thing from the bootleg videos that I saw of this tour, Black and Huge would be the second song, and behind the screen, they would actually have video screens, and you'd have the first ever Scumdog porno film. playing, where it's the most disgusting thing ever. Wayne, I'm gonna have to send. I'll send you and Nate the clip on Facebook Messenger. But put it to you this way: you don't know what horror is like until you've seen Odorous stick a 3-foot double-ended dildo in someone's butthole while blood and shit is coming out of it.
Thanks for that visual.
While he's licking the shit and the blood.
You know,
and the girl is on her period. And the guy who's getting killed by Odorous is drinking the blood from the period. And even Don Draculich himself, he said, I don't know why I directed this. It's fucking disgusting.
It's like if the 2 Girls 1 Cup guy just abandoned his project. Like it was Frankenstein.
You've seen it,
like
Nate?
Played with forces of nature that shouldn't have been touched by man.
Put it to you this way. I've watched
your description. I really don't want to because I've seen 2 Girls 1 Cup and that's close enough.
But here's the thing. The first time I watched it, I'm like, what the hell is this? And this was 2 years ago, and I haven't stopped watching it.
Oh my god. If this wasn't a Gwar show, I'd have to edit all that out.
So people who like Gwar are expected.
Yes, yeah, that's pretty much normal with Gwar. God. It must have been a sight, though, to see those old shows.
Other beer.
Oh my god, I need that. I want that.
It's Trooper.
That's a sake-based beer, right?
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Interesting.
I've only had Trooper.
Trooper's great too.
Yes, it is. But that's Scum Dogs of the Universe.
America must be destroyed. My favorite classic.
We haven't even gotten to it, Nate. Wayne was
not
talking.
Even yet. But Scum Dogs of the Universe, I believe that's the album that everybody should start with, right?
I agree.
Are we going to agree with that one?
Perfect 10.
What about you, Nate?
I give it a 9.5. I can't.
I'm not that great at, but would you say a first listener to Gwar would you say get this album?
Honestly, maybe for classic Gwar, but overall, I'd say Lust in Space is a great first Gwar album.
Really? Damn.
It's not too.
You're a new fan, so it's...
No. It's not too heavy. The music's really good, and it really gets you used to the whole Gwar story thing. So you feel like kind of weirded out live show how everything is scripted.
Yeah. All right, interesting. All right. And as you said before, America Must Be Destroyed. The album that started it all for me. The best. This is the best album of Gwar that they ever did. I think this is better. It's better than Scum Dogs. But also because this was my first album, so
it was my first too.
Yeah, so to me, this is 10. It
was the first one I ever bought. So
the fucking same here. But the fucking B-side is nowhere near as good. What are you talking about?
I love the B-side.
The B-side is nothing compared to the A-side.
It is too. Rock and Roll Never Felt So Good. Poor Old Tom.
Yeah.
Limey.
It's only okay.
The Road Behind?
Only okay. Poor Old Tom is lame.
I like
Poor Old Tom, actually.
Poor Old Tom is... that's a skippable track.
I love Brocky's vocals on that song.
I do too, but it's way too long.
I like it. And my cousin's name is Tom, and I always say, oh, poor Tom.
Depends on how stoned I am, whether I like America Must Be Destroyed or not, like the title track.
Yeah. You're insane.
But
the title
Down on the Bone, my favorite Gwar opening track.
Yes.
Best song ever written about jerking off.
There's actually another song.
Robbing root it shan't unclasp, get to the head of the class as I madly stroke my flaccid shaft. Oh my god. It's
poetry.
It's up there. Mark Twain, Shakespeare, Dave Brocky right here. It's
oh my god.
Legit poetic. It's fucking amazing.
It is.
I will say this though about the title track. I thought it was a great experiment with doing Gwar's music and commentary from clips of the news and things like that. Kind of reminded me of like what was happening in 1992 with like the emergency broadcast system and KOF on on the Brit Awards, where they came out and they were like shooting AK-47s with blanks all over the stage and freaking people out. Like it was. I thought that song was a perfect representative of the representation of what was going on at the time, especially post Rodney King LA riots and things like that. And again, I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying, like, that's what was happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I like that song.
Honestly, my thoughts on it, I'm like, oh, Dave Brockie just heard Ministry. That was my thought on America Must Be Destroyed.
Oh, that's now you just brought that up, and I just forgot about that. But they did actually do a tour with Ministry.
Yeah.
On the last with Scumdogs, and then Al Jorgensen did produce Horror.
Yeah,
on the last album.
Okay. Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, Al Jorgensen was a huge Gwar fan. He was like, "You'd let me produce this song."
Yeah, that also makes sense, but I think I knew that.
They couldn't afford him for the rest of the album, though, so they just did Horror of Yig.
But I love the poster that comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Such a cool thing. Yeah. But, every fucking song on here is good. And the hilarious one, Have You Seen Me? I mean, it's a terrible thing, but
awesome.
It is awesome.
And I saw them finally play it live last tour, and I was so stoked.
Oh, really?
I want them to play Ham on the Bones so bad, but what Pustulus said in a video is like, yeah, some of our songs are like really good on the album, but when you play them live, and then he just starts playing the riff to Ham on the Bone, they're kind of boring to play live. I'm like, fuck! I'm never going to see them play it live, am I?
Probably not.
Crack the Egg's great. Gorgor's fucking great. Morality Squad's fucking great. Rock and Roll Never Felt So Good is hysterical. Pussy Planet's great. Gilded Lily's okay, and Blimey's okay. And I'm not a huge fan of Poor Old Tom and the Road Behind.
Oh, Poor Old Tom. I love Road Behind.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Even
the video is great too.
Guitar.
It was great though because they actually brought that up for the tour after Odorous died, and the way that they opened it up was sort of like there was Danny Boy playing on the loudspeakers, bagpipe version of it, and then they went into the song, and during the, I guess you could call it the guitar solo of the song, Blothar's leading everybody in a Hail Odorous chant, so it's pretty fucking cool.
That's cool. I like that.
I just remember in school, what year was this?
92.
That would have been like middle school. Yeah. So I remember when Row Behind was on MTV all the time, and just me and my friends were just obsessed about that song. So
it's also Brockie's favorite Gwar album.
Like I said, there's really no bad songs on there. So, and in a way, to me, it's just better than Scumdogs, but they're both great albums.
Would you say that Road Behind was sort of like a parody of Guns N' Roses, though?
I was just going to say that because of the whistling, yes.
Not just the whistling, like a sad whale song.
Yeah.
I mean, like, didn't Guns N' Roses start doing videos with dolphins and whales in them by that point?
Around that time, yeah, yep. Yeah, Use Your Illusions was that around that time.
Yeah, since it's a parody of Guns N' Roses, I like The Road Behind now, because I really hate Rose. So...
But that's exactly. I was just going to mention that before because the way the acoustic thing started off, and then the whistling thing, and just with the whale thing and stuff like that. Yeah, I always thought it was like.
I thought they wanted to try a ballad for shits and giggles, and I'm like, it doesn't really work. But if it's a parody of Guns N' Roses, that's 100,000 times better. Like, fuck. Love Slash, just.
I like them. Whatever.
Axl Rose's 11 octaves of Dying Cat. You can't convince me otherwise.
You're terrible.
I thought he did a decent job filling in for Brian Johnson.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Fucking weird. Yeah, he's better in AC/DC than his own band. That was fucking odd. I was like, why is he sounding good? He's not supposed to.
Yeah. I don't
He
know.
already sucked now he's gained slash in weight.
He made it work though.
All right, well, I give this album a 10, Wayne.
10? Yeah, me too.
I give it another 9.5.
Wow. Not a 10, huh? It's all right. 9.5. I'll give it 9.
10 for Bloody Pit of Horror, my guy. That's my favorite Gwar album.
We're not even there yet, Nick.
No, we got another 4 hours.
All right. What's
that album? Ragnarok.
No, you completely skipped an album.
I did, didn't I?
This Toilet Earth.
Sorry. Edit that one out.
Maybe it was for good reason.
I haven't.
Not this Toilet Earth.
No, hold on.
Ragnarok.
Where the hell is this Toilet Earth? I don't have... Oh, no, with that one full? Nope, I don't know where it is. Oh, I have it, but I don't have it on me. It's somewhere. Doesn't matter. This Toilet Earth. That album...
Ragnarok came... Because Ragnarok sounds like it would be a transitionary album between America Must Be Destroyed and This Toilet Earth.
No, it fits in right where it belongs. Right where it ended up being. Really.
I always thought it was heavier than This Toilet Earth.
No, I don't think so. This Toilet Earth sounds a little bit more like a stripped down America Must Be Destroyed. And I was actually a little bit disappointed with that album because the heaviness of the band wasn't there, I don't think. I think they really started to decline in a way in the music.
On This Toilet Earth. Saddam Go-Go is the only great song.
Saddam Go-Go is a great opening track.
It's one of my favorite Gwar songs. Yeah. I fucking love Saddam Go-Go, but I'm not really a fan of really any song on this album other than that.
Really?
The best after Saddam Go-Go, it's only average, you know?
I don't know.
I think it had a couple of good songs. Let's see, I'm looking at Saddam Go-Go, yes. Penis I See I Enjoyed, Eat Steel, Jack the World, Sonic Commando, Fight, Slap You Around's pretty funny. Filthy Flow I like a lot, and Obliteration of Flap Corp 7, which according to Ballsack is Flap Corp 6. But, it was... So that means, I liked half the album.
Yeah.
But, in terms of the quality of the two prior to it, not there. You could tell they were going for something different. They were going for some kind of mainstream appeal. But at the same time, though, they kind of shot themselves in the foot with this album. Yeah. Because when the album first came out, I think they were signed to Priority at the time, which I think distributed Metal Blade, and they were giving a little bit more money. But then they said, you have to take BDF off the album. And they said, no, we're not going to do that. Mm. And that kind of shot them in the foot.
Right.
By the way, in case anyone's curious what BDF means, Wayne, can I say it?
Of course.
Baby dick fuck.
Baby dick fuck.
However, it did get Gwar popularity in some other aspects. Like, I think it was around this time that they were on the Beavis and Butthead video game. They also did the song SFW for the movie.
Mm-hmm. Empire Records,
yes.
Yeah.
Come on, Mark, why don't you join the band?
That wasn't even Odoris's voice in that, though. That really pissed me off. That was not Dave Rocky's voice.
No?
And no, it wasn't.
Who was it?
It wasn't. No, I don't even know, but it wasn't him.
Sounds a lot like him.
No, it wasn't him. I know for a fact that it wasn't him. And they had the movie that came out at the time, which was Skullhead Face, which is a weird sit. I mean, like Phallus in Wonderland was cool and weird at the same time, but Skullhead Face was just wow. It had some funny elements where they kill all the the Glomco executives, and you get two cool cameos from Sebastian Bach of Skid Row and Jello Biafra, the Dead Kennedys.
Yeah,
it's a weird freaking movie.
It's funny. I've never seen any of the Gwar movies. I've never watched them.
They're available on YouTube on Gwar's channel.
Yeah, they're on DVD now too. But I never ever watched them. I don't know why. I just never sat down and watched them. And then when I was reading this, that's probably why. Because it just I probably really don't need to watch them. But when I was reading this book, they were saying that the Skullhead Face was just did not work, and it almost like destroyed the band in a way because they didn't know what they were doing. But what do you think about the song? I actually like the song.
Which songs? You mean the Insidious Soliloquy of Skullhead Face?
Yeah.
I felt like they were going into Frank Zappa territory or like Sgt. Pepper Beatles territory with this, where they were just really experimenting with songwriting. And I give him an A for effort. It was good. It's not one of my favorite Gwar songs.
Right. Yeah, I remember hearing it, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" But then it grew on me because at the time, like even Gamma Ray has a weird song with like a piano middle section or whatever, and this kind of reminded me of that song in a way, just because it had the piano and just kind of went into like this operatic kind of thing. It's just very strange carnival circus type song, and
yeah,
I ended up liking it.
If you watch the film, if the song fits within the context of the film.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, one day I gotta get the DVDs, just watch them. But I also remember seeing the video for Jack the World. That was also one of my favorite songs.
Oh, interesting thing about that video. So at the time, Pete Lee was he was flatus, but right before they were shooting, he got stabbed in a carjacking. So in that video and on that tour, Flatus actually has a colostomy bag.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that. I'll have to watch it.
How do you not
disgusting
rip
tidbit.
open stitches with the effort required to play in a Gwar suit? God damn.
I guess
I don't know, but man, that's why I say Pete Lee. I respect the guy.
Yeah, kudos there. Shit.
No pun intended.
But cool. Like you guys say, I mean, half the album's good, half the album's kind of throwaway in a way, but it's a decent Gwar album.
All right, now you can hold up the album that
now, and I really wish I could find. I don't know where the hell it went. This Toilet Earth. I have it somewhere. That's gonna drive me nuts now. Whenever something's just out of place, it just drives me nuts, insane.
Don't be OCD about it. It's all good.
And I'm usually not. It's just
it's Gwar. They'll forgive you.
Yeah, I'll find it. But yes, Ragnarok is the next album, and I remember. I actually didn't buy this album first. A friend of mine made a copy of it for me because I guess his brother or somebody bought it first. And again, the production on this one changed so much. It was weird, you know. This definitely was not a heavy Gwar album at all. But the songs were there. You know, you had Meat Sandwich. That's a fucking
Meat Sandwich is awesome.
It's an awesome opening track.
Yeah.
The New
Imagine
Plague.
if that was a song you listened to while you were on the you're on the phone with an operator and they tell you, please hold, and they just play Meat Sandwich all over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Oh, do you know what Meat Sandwich is about?
No.
It's about Jesus, basically. You know how you go to church and you drink the wine of Jesus?
Yes.
So it's basically eating Jesus.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you saying this because Odorous beat Jesus in a basketball game in the video?
Yes.
Yep.
And then they grind them at the end of the video and eat them.
Oh, they didn't show that, but they did show them eating something.
Yes, and it was Jesus.
Oh God, I have to watch the video again. Okay, continue with the album. Sorry, you were talking about the songs.
The New Plague.
Fucking dumb video, by the way. We're just gonna have a bigger play basketball with Jesus.
And Jesus is wearing Chucks.
The New Plague. I remember when I first heard that song, and then they're like, "I'm just a person with AIDS." I'm like, really? They're writing this in the fucking song? What other band am I gonna listen to that's writing that shit?
Did you forget about Have You Seen Me?
I did, but
proud in 1992.
Was that?
This is the band that got people to scream, "I'm gay and I'm proud."
Yes,
this
I
is
know.
true.
It is true. But
and Dave actually wrote that as a tribute to his brother Andrew, who was gay.
Oh, that I did not know.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And no idea. But it's one of my favorite songs. What?
Andrew Urungus.
Andrew Urungus.
Andrew Brocky. Come on.
He said Odorous. So...
You know what? Andrew Urungus does sound better. Never mind.
Yeah, it does. War Ghouls okay. I love the song Ragnarok.
So do I.
And that's the same character who sang Sexecutioner.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't this song kind of remind you of After Forever by Black Sabbath? When he breaks into like that, and when he breaks into that part?
I don't know that song that well.
You ever know After Forever?
If I heard it, I would recognize it.
It's track 2 on Master of Reality.
I don't have to listen to it.
I'll send you that MP3.
I have it up there. You know what it is? I just not too long ago started listening to Black Sabbath, so picking up like a Sabbath song just out of the thin air is not gonna like.
Are you more of a Dio Sabbath than an Ozzy Sabbath fan?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Okay, fair enough.
Because he likes power metal.
Nothing wrong with that.
That has nothing to do with anything.
Dude,
I like Ozzy stuff.
It's kind of the Doom equivalent to power metal, to be honest. Like Dio Sabbath.
Yeah.
Especially like Dehumanizer.
Yeah, it's I would say so.
Mm.
Yeah.
Dirty Filthy, kind of sucks. Stalin's Organs, Knife in Your Guts. I think you ought to know this.
Hilarious.
Is another one of my favorite tracks, and that's Sleazy P singing that song. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the one that's off of Scum Dogs with what the hell's the name of that song?
Slaughterama.
Slaughterama, yes. Martyrdoms, Fire in the Loins, Nudged, Surf of Sin.
That's a cool track. I like that one.
Surf of Sin?
Yeah, well, I'm a guitar player, so I appreciate good surf guitar.
Yeah. It's alright, but there's no really it's mostly like an instrumental.
Yeah, but you got Cardinal Sin, like, that's his voice on it.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. So.
And actually, they made a video for that song. It was like the first song off of this album. And they were the reason why they made the video was because this song had no cursing or no vulgar things in it. So they figured they would get MTV play, and MTV wanted nothing to do with them. And listening to this song, because I couldn't think of like what the hell it sounded like. And then when I listened back to it a few minutes ago, I'm like, why would you make a video for this song? It doesn't do anything,
Also remember '95. This is when Headbangers Ball was off the air, and MTV wanted nothing to do with hard rock or heavy metal.
Yeah, that's true too. Crush
Kill Destroy. That's a good track.
Yeah, that one's not too bad. And None But the Brave. It's all right.
I'd have to say my favorite on this. And again, like the tracks that I love the most on this are Meat Sandwich, War Ghoul, Ragnarok. Think You Ought to Know This. Surfacing and Crush Kill Destroy, but I'd have to say War Ghoul is my favorite one.
Really?
I love that track. I think it's brutal. I love the guitars, the rhythm. I even ordered the Kindle book of War Ghoul written by Dave Rocky. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I will. But just think it's a great story.
Yeah. So pretty much like the previous album. I like half of this album, and half of it's kind of garbage, but still, it's a good Gwar album. Nate, what do you think? What the hell's Gwar my leg? Really?
It's most of it's pretty forgettable.
You think so?
Yeah.
Nah, I disagree. When I first heard it, yes. But then over time, it grew on me, and it's got some really great songs.
Maybe once I own it and listen to it more, I'll change my mind. But for now, it's like, why would I listen to this when other better Gwar exists?
Well, they came out with it at the same time as this, the X-Cops album.
Yes,
You Have the Right to Remain Silent.
Yeah, and I like X-Cops.
Well, Casey Orr was I think him and Pete Lee were the ones that pushed that. And once again, you find Gwar finds himself in a situation where they're opening for themselves.
Right.
So that was probably the most lucrative tour.
Actually, no. Nobody wanted to see X-Cops. And actually, they never really told people who X-Cops was. So nobody came to the shows when they did.
Is that a fact?
Yes. I think the most people they ever had at an X-Cop show was 10 people.
Oh, good Lord. Well, Metal Blade didn't do anything to.
I like X-Cops.
Metal Blade didn't really do anything to promote it.
No, they did not. And I actually ended up finding that album. It was in a used section for like $5. And I'm like, holy shit! You never find this album anywhere. So of course I had to buy it.
Yeah, let alone for $5.
Yeah, I know.
You could sell that for an arm and a leg on discount.
No, I'm keeping that. That's my angle.
Oh yeah. I understand.
But one more thing I forgot to mention. I think you ought to notice. I think that song had to be a spoof on the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
It totally was.
I don't know if there was some kind of blood between them.
No, there was no beef between them. There was just Gwar satirizes pop culture. That's all it is.
It's just Gwar being Gwar.
Gwar being Gwar. Cool song. Awesome song. Carnival of Chaos. We can basically skip this album.
Yeah.
There's some decent tracks on it.
Penguin Attack. And that's about it for me.
Let me see. Penguin Attack I like.
Preschool Prostitute.
Let's just say when people think Gwar sucks, they're thinking of this album.
Yes.
Well, Casey Orr does a great job with Hate Love Songs.
Yeah, I like that song too. And it's like...
I enjoyed Back to Iraq, and I enjoyed Private Pain of Techno Destructo.
Yeah, that was not too bad. But the thing with this album is they really went back to almost a punk sound on this album, I think.
I would say so. For me, this is where the production values started to decline.
Really decline. And
I think that's not the fact that it's more of a punk sound. It's just that the songs are really boring.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, just suck on my thumb. I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah. But I will say this though. Don't Need a Man definitely showcases the vocal talents of Daniel Stamp, Slimenstra Hyman. So, big respect for her for that.
Yeah, it did, but it's also a song I would really never listen to, and it's a skip for me. Good thing it's the last song. What were we saying, Nate?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, it's just skip. But it's a shame because I was excited when I saw this album in the music store. I just went in there and they had it sitting on the new release shelf. I'm like, oh, awesome, a Gwar album. And then I listened to it. I'm just like, there's like a handful of good songs on here. It's just a shame. Penguin Attack's the best one, I think.
By the way, this is where it was around Ragnarok around this time where Dave Rocky and Hunter Jackson started to really clash over the direction of Gwar. Right. And this is going to reflect big time in We Kill Everything. Yes. Because when you listen to the song Tune from the Moon, if you listen to the first couple of lines of that song, that's basically Hunter Jackson talking to Dave Rocky.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's where the one, what does he say? You fucked it all up or something like that,
You screwed it all up, yeah.
It all up. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the next album. We Kill Everything. Again, there's really nothing on here.
Yeah.
I mean, the songs are funny. The production is, yeah. But,
the lyrics are funny. The songs aren't good, though.
Songs are not good. Lyrics are funny.
But all Gwar lyrics are funny.
Right. But this was just like, it was just way too silly. I mean, a lot of this stuff should have just, because also at the time, David Brockie, this is when he started the Dave Brockie experience, and everybody in the band too was kind of just like, they didn't know what the hell was going on, and they were just getting too silly, especially with the Carnival of Chaos album. It just started getting way too silly, and I don't think a lot of the band members really wanted to be involved with this because it wasn't Gwar anymore. You know, it was turning into like the Dave Brockie experience almost in a way.
Right, losing the brutality and like the music just for the gag.
Right. Yeah. And it was a shame, you know. But it's just, I don't know. That album was just such a total disappointment, and it shows them with the band too, because they kind of went on a hiatus after that for a while, and nobody really wanted to be involved with the band, especially what's his name, Casey Orr. He wasn't going to be back in the band unless Gwar or unless Dave Brockie really wanted to get out of the silliness.
Well, the funny thing is, there was actually Michael Bishop on that album.
Yep.
And Casey Orr came back in time to do It's Sleazy, which is the video that they released corresponding with this album. Yep. Shot on, I think it was Sony Digital Video. And you could tell they were experimenting with it because it looks like crap. The audio is, you're wondering, okay, so, and I say this from having had experience with the Sony DV cam. There's an XLR input in the camera where it's like, you can use it as a boom mic, but it also has a directional mic that's in front of it. So I think what they did was they shot with the directional mic, but the problem is the audio, there's so much ambience going on in the background that it sounds like everybody's talking like this, and it's horrible.
Oh, jeez. I fucking hate that.
But the cool thing, though, was that a year later, when they were doing their Halloween tour in 2000, they started to wise up because they brought out on tour with them another band from Richmond, Virginia, who had just released their first album on the Metal Blade, and that was Lamb of God. So I would have to say that experience definitely kicked Gwar's ass a little bit and say, we have to step it up.
Yeah, Richmond was really the explosion of the new metal scene in the early 2000s. Like, I mean, I'm a gigantic, massive Municipal Waste fan as well as Gwar. So, like, I really like bands from Richmond. Like I said, Cannabis Corpse. I love Enforced. That whole area is just teeming with really good new bands. And the fact that most of them were on their breakout tours opening for Gwar says something. Like, not only, like, just most of them have opened for Gwar.
Yeah.
And I mean, this also helped. I mean, we're going to get to Violence Has Arrived here in a second, right?
Well, we're going to do that next week.
Oh, we're
wink,
splitting.
Wink, wink.
Oh.
But yeah, we'll get to that one.
They'll see our fucking shirts, dude.
What?
Come on, our fans aren't that dumb.
Well, I don't want to make a 4-hour show, so we're going to break it up.
Because we know you all have the attention span of goldfish.
Yeah. It's been enough. I had to break up the Twisted Sister show.
Because we know you have the attention span of goldfish. Because we know you have the attention span of gold. Oh, never mind.
But before
by the way, the significance of the We Kill Everything tour, it was the farewell to Chuck Varga and Daniel Stamp and Hunter Jackson.
Yeah.
And thank you for everything you did for Gwar.
Yeah.
That's right. But yeah, there was a lot of really cool stories about like with their shows and stuff. There was even one with Danzig. I guess one of Danzig's some girl that he was with at the time. She was playing around with Brock, one of like a prosthetic penis or whatever they had on for their show.
The Cuttlefish of Cthulhu.
No, it could have been. I don't know. But she was touching it, and all of a sudden, it's like some stuff started spewing out of it. And it hit Danzig's shoe, and he like totally got disgusted and like took off.
Yeah, it sounds like Danzig.
Yeah. But
Northside Kings happened 4 years later.
Yep. But all right, so that's the first half of the Gwar albums. Yeah, it's a shame that they had to like go off on a shitty end there for a little while. But
classic Gwar.
It's this first set is classic Gwar to me. So, like you said. So next week we'll come back and do Violence Has Arrived. The what?
We'll come back to the golden era of Gwar.
Golden era. All right, whatever you say. But we will see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. RedSalReview.com. Please buy a t-shirt. Check out Lou Mavs' show.
If I can get back to shows.
Wear a mask. Go subscribe to
please. Shows, and I know you guys do in the fucking audience.
Everybody does.
Let's get this shit back together. I really want to fucking get back to shows.
I think
me too, man.
I'm so sick
dying
of this shit.
I saw a cool thing though the other day on Facebook. I don't know where it was, but some band did do a show, but they did it. I guess it was like at a hotel or something, and everybody was standing in their hotel rooms, and then the stage was there, like in front of them. So that was kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, kind of problem there. You can't start a mosh pit.
You can't start a mosh pit, but you can at least see a show.
Yeah. I mean, Destruction played a show recently, too, I think.
So did Doro in front of a drive-through audience.
Really?
Yeah, that's fucking odd.
Crazy poor Doro. She was always better than that.
Very crazy times we're in. But go subscribe to Major Malfunction's Twitter page, and I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, don't follow me on Twitter right now. I'm banned again for bullying transphobes.
Trump-tards? Is that what you just said?
No, transphobes.
Oh, transphobes. Okay.
All right. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Music is life.
Try.